The Department of Homeland Security, and ICE specifically, are aggressively expanding the surveillance state. America's most well-funded law enforcement agency of all time is using next-generation technology like location tracking, facial recognition, and artificial intelligence to create a database, not just of immigrants, but to monitor activists and really anyone they may deem to be an agitator.
It's not illegal to record.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah. Why are you taking my information down?
Because we have a nice little database.
Oh, good.
And now you're considered a domestic terrorist.
So is there, in fact, a database? This administration has explicitly said they're basically creating one. Tom Homan went on Fox News this month and said so. Although Homeland Security has denied there is a database for, quote, domestic terrorists out there. But what is undeniable right now is that Trump's massive funding increase created unprecedented surveillance capabilities for ICE. And here's just a piece of how all of this works. So let's say you hear about ICE activity in your area and you want to go out and protest, which, by the way, is your constitutional right. If you drive there, automatic license plate readers can photograph your car and run it through a database of more than 20 billion scans. In seconds, they know where you live, where you work, everywhere your car has been in the last 30 days. Like it appears they did with observer and U.S. citizen Judith Levy in Minnesota. Agents took photos of her license plates. Then, according to NPR News, a masked agent later walked up to her passenger window and said, "Hello, Judith. How are you today?" ICE, the same agency that allows its agents to wear masks, has access to new apps like Mobile Fortify, which allow agents to immediately take your biometric scan of your face. They can even scan your fingerprints with just a picture. They don't need to even physically touch you. And then let's say you want to upload your protest video to social media while you're out there. ICE has plans to hire nearly 30 contractors for round-the-clock, 24/7 social media monitoring. Of course, it's not like there's any shortage of content, posters, mugshots, and videos made by ICE and DHS going out there on social media. And then there's companies like Meta, which just began halting Facebook, Instagram, and Threads users from sharing a database that claimed to attempt to contain thousands of names and photos of ICE agents, saying it violates their privacy rules. Surveillance, unmasking, it all seems to be a one-way street right now.
It's pretty petrifying to know that the government can hack into your phone that easily and that apparently it's semi-legal. I just don't understand how it is legal if you are exercising your rights as a citizen and you're at a protest for the government to hack into your phone and to be able to have access to all of your private information and personal thoughts.
It's a real consideration that both activists, organizers, people maybe bringing food to their neighbors right now, and journalists like us that we have to think about. In fact, the guidance that a lot of us are getting right now is to get rid of any kind of face ID or if you have some sort of fingerprint ID on your phone, because if your phone happens to open up while you are interacting with a federal agent, that basically will allow them to go through the contents of your phone. So making sure your phone is basically as locked as it possibly can be is one of the few tools we have right now to keep from that happening.
I think what's the other element of all of this is not only the data that they are newly collecting, like hacking into phones or whatnot, it's also the ways that they are abusing existing data, like confidential records, Social Security records, which DOJ got access to, IRS records, which were for a while supposed to be shared with ICE, Medicaid records, which a judge said can be shared with ICE. There are a lot of ways in which they are using confidential information about people that is collected for one purpose, for weaponization purposes, that I think has really gone under the radar.
I want to say really quickly that, there was this moment in America's history where lawmakers tried to protect consumers from the abuse of government, and a big part of that was relying on the private sector to make sure that whatever data private sectors had, whether it was banks or what have you, they could kind of provide a shield for consumers from the government. What is so disheartening about the period of time we find ourselves in is that the titans and the CEOs of these tech companies seem to collaborate with the government. They boast about the fact that they have the next tool that the government can use for ICE, for immigration, for national security, for surveillance, whether it's like various AI companies or Palantir. They're out there talking about saying how they want to work with the government to advance their security apparatus and their security state. And that is what's so disheartening, is that as a consumer, as an American, as a citizen, as a journalist, you don't feel that anybody has your back and your data is being protected, whether it is from the government or the lawmakers who are asleep at the wheel or the CEOs who are providing these tools to the government. So it's extremely disheartening in this moment, you know.